Hey everyone, welcome to the Pirates Fan Forum here on DK Pittsburgh Sports Podcast Network. I'm your host, Gary Morgan, fully electrified this week so that we're actually able to do the show with my broadcast partner, Jim Stamm. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, we're back, man, and a lot to cover now. And let's forget about baseball for a second, Gary, and let's talk about hockey real fast. How awesome was this last week with the men's team and the women's team? And man,
Pretty
it was just
awesome.
great. It was just great.
Pretty awesome. I mean, first of all, we're the perfect age to remember before hockey took off here in Pittsburgh. It was so hard to find places to play. I mean, there was no place to play here. There was no
Right?
rinks all over the place. I mean, I played because I had 3 ponds near me and it froze, you know? And then we had North Park, which was like a 45-minute drive where you could skate at that little rink. You know, that
Yeah,
was all we had. You didn't have floor hockey, street hockey, none of that. And then the Penguins won. Those 90s teams won, and then hockey took off here in Pittsburgh, and it really changed. And after Team USA won in the 80s, it really took off in the country. You know, it wasn't just this Canadian sport that we had some US teams for. I think it's going to bring more interest to the game. It's wonderful. Both USA hockey's come a long way, and congrats to Mike Sullivan too.
yeah,
For real.
definitely.
Proven that he can still coach. Just, it needs to be in a short stretch, I think, where everybody is really good and pulling in the same direction, and that's kind of what you get with an Olympic hockey team.
No, yeah, it's you forget about that part, but not easy to throw all that together with all the moving pieces and parts that quickly. They played so well down the stretch. Goaltending was so huge, and I will just say, like for me, it was an interesting kind of morning on Sunday when the men's team won, because my son had a hockey game at the same exact time as the game.
Yeah.
So what was great is you are in a hockey environment and you're seeing people. There was one little TV up on the wall, and there were people, just a ton of people, like standing around it, going in, going out, getting to their games. And by the end of it, we got our game done, and it was just getting to the end of regulation. And there must have been like 75 people just standing around this little TV watching this hockey game. And it was just such a cool environment to be in for that. Kids, parents, everybody. So yeah, it was just a great weekend. And you're right too, like hockey here. How much do we have to thank like Lemieux and Crosby
For sure.
for what this sport is here now, because you can't go anywhere in this area without that just being plastered all over the place. It's just really cool.
Well, so go USA, go USA. That was awesome, for real.
It really
Happy,
was.
happy with both. But the downside is what happened to Sid.
Mm.
And I don't think we need to discuss that on here, but
No, but it bleeds into something else.
it bleeds into Paul Skenes playing in the World Baseball Classic, does it not? Right? I mean, and how weird was it this year? The main story about the World Baseball Classic, all off season, building up to it, has not been about the epic matchups between these teams. In fact, I haven't heard a whole lot of talk about the rosters quite yet. It's been about the inability to insure people. It's a bad look for the game, man. Like, if the NHL and the NBA and all these other leagues can make it happen for these Olympic things, and I think that baseball's got to figure out some way to make sure all their stars can play if they want to, right?
Well, as we know with baseball, thank God it's the only problem in the game, Gary. The only one we have to sort out. Everything else is in great shape, so this should be really simple. I'm being slightly sarcastic there, but no,
Well, that's the topic I want to talk about. Really, is did the Sidney Crosby thing have your antennas go up about Paul being in the World Baseball Classic at all? I mean,
it was already up for me. Like I just, it's really interesting how these things play out, because um, here you are in hockey. It's kind of, 3/4 of the season, and boy, these guys are playing all these physical games outside the NHL. What's that look like when they come back? Does someone get hurt? And then in baseball, it's like you're getting to spring training and everyone's like, hey, nice and easy. Let's ramp it up nice and easy, right? We don't want to do anything crazy. And then we send all the game's best players to play in this tournament within like 2 weeks of getting to spring training, and they're going to go compete at the best level that they can.
yeah, I think it's odd timing for baseball stars to be ready. Most of them that were wanted to participate, I'm sure they put themselves on a schedule to be ready now. So I don't believe like anybody's just showing up there like on first day of spring training with their arm all cracking every time they lift it up or something. You know,
David Wells might do that if he got the chance to, but other than that, yeah.
But I enjoyed the World Baseball Classic last time. I did. And I think I'll enjoy it this time. And I would never want to rob Paul Skenes of something that if you watched him interviewed about it, it means a lot to him. I mean, and I wouldn't want to take that away from him. Like having a chance to do the baseball equivalent of an Olympic, championship, and I think that means a lot to him. I don't know that we have the right to tell them not to play any of the stars, but man, it makes you queasy.
It does, and I'm almost curious as to like how much the teams actually behind closed doors, do they hate this? They just have to go along with it. You would think with all the money that is involved in these players and their contracts and whatnot, maybe that's where the insurance stuff comes in. I don't know why in baseball it's seen as bigger risk. Hockey's a violent sport.
I think I understand it more for the pitchers than the hitters, but like let's just play this out a bit, okay? You got Tarek Skubal is on Team USA. He's going to pitch one time. Paul Skenes is on Team USA. He's going to pitch twice, he says, if they get to a certain point. Are we not like, this isn't really a representative of what it was last time. Like in the WBC last time, they all just kind of went and they all just played and they kind of gave it all. And that's what made it what it was. It was so exciting. And like, that's why, because these guys really cared about winning these games. I'm sure they still care about winning, but they're not going because the teams, I think, are like, wait a minute.
Sure.
I'll let you go do this. But, and if you're the Tigers, you got to be like, bro, we just lost arbitration to you, right? We're paying you $30-some million. Do you really got to do this?
Yeah. And it matters more to certain teams, right? Like the Tigers or the Pirates lose Skubal or Paul Skenes. I mean, you know what that effectively does.
We got to take a break and keep talking about this because I don't think we're done yet.
No, we're not.
Let's take a quick one.
All right.
At DK Pittsburgh Sports, we take pride in coverage that connects our city's fans to their favorite teams. Now, that connection's stronger than ever. Introducing our all-new state-of-the-art app. Find expert inside reporting and original podcasts. Check live box scores. Track the latest stats. Chat it up with our community of thousands of fans, all in one place. The new app from DK Pittsburgh Sports. Coverage that connects.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Pirates Fan Forum here on DK Pittsburgh Sports Podcast Network. All right, Jimbo, let's get back into it. WBC.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we talked about it last time. We liked it. We had fun with it and everything, right? And we didn't really have a dog in the fight. there was nobody of like great importance in that from the Pirates, right? So
and not much, and not as much was at stake now.
yeah, true. So now now you're on the cusp of a really good season. He's the most pivotal player that you could possibly have on your roster doing this. He's going to go pitch a couple games. I will watch them. If he wins something in this, I will certainly celebrate it. I'll be proud of him and everything. But I won't feel great until he comes back and starts throwing in black and gold again, man. Like it,
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, Jim, I don't worry every time it's his day. I celebrate that it's his day. Why am I freaking out so much that he's going to pitch for another team?
Yeah, it's funny because, I think there's so many guys you worry about with their arms, and for whatever reason, Paul has turned it into, don't worry about me. I'm a big horse, and I'll be just fine. And everybody treats it that way. But yes, then this kind of situation pops up, and I think too, it's like it's hard to tell in baseball too. Like, do arm injuries, are they gradual and like it's gonna happen regardless? Like if Paul went there and had something go wrong with his arm or shoulder,
Was it going to happen on Thursday against the Braves anyway?
right?
Right.
Or a month from now, based on it. And so, like, whereas Sidney Crosby got in a awkward position because of a hit, and
Sure.
it's a different scenario.
It's a contact sport. Every time you step on the ice, you can get hurt.
Right, and you'll never prove in baseball in this situation. Now, when Edwin Diaz did it, I think he was jumping around at the World Baseball Classic, if I recall correctly, and that's how he hurt his knee.
Yeah,
so,
celebrating after they won. So,
yeah, freak injury.
Right.
So how could you even tell? Even if it happens, in something like that particular way, I don't even know how you could blame it on that anyway. But we would.
Take it this way. Let's say you have the NBA participating in the Olympics, okay, and they send LeBron James, and he says pretty early on, I'm only going to play about 4 games in this tournament. So, and 2 of them, they're going to be the play-in game and the championship game. But, you guys got to get me there, though. Is that really the dream team, right? Or say, listen, LeBron, you can't shoot outside of the key. You have to lay up or slam every time you score. That's the same as Shohei Ohtani not pitching and only hitting for Japan, right? You're not getting the full product.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and in that way, the charm of this was that it was a different kind of exhibition type situation where you were spreading out the game, and it's supposed to be an ambassadorship for the game worldwide. Well, we're not doing our best or sending our best or giving our best when we go now. So it's a glorified all-star game again.
Yeah, it could trend that way. I think
I'm not saying it is right this second. I'm just saying, like, that's where I feel it's going. You're right.
Yeah, like that. This is kind of the you're seeing the evolution of it, be it good or bad, and I think that's what makes the Olympics so special. And maybe the WBC could never get to that level, is just because when those dudes strapped it on for their country, it was, if you had to lose a leg, a tooth, an eye, everybody was there and everybody was giving it a go, right? If you were there, you were playing if you were healthy. And maybe baseball's just not going to be set up or designed that way. And for me, it loses a little bit of luster. We'll see. I'll still watch. And like you said, if it's Skenes is in there, of course you're rooting for him, and you just cross your fingers and nothing bad happens.
I mean, it could be fun to even do, instead of the Arizona Fall League, do this tournament with all AAA and AA guys. I think that would be a pretty darn good representation. And like, the equivalent, have a team from Korea, have a team from Japan, have a team, do all the teams. and do that as the Arizona Fall League. It becomes the World Baseball Tournament or something.
I'd be willing. I'd be willing to explore other things. I think the other thing with baseball is like so many games just for a regular season, like 162 games. You're talking pitchers that are your workhorses are going to be between 30 and 40 starts.
Right.
Like, how do you manage all that? Interesting. Bottom line is, yes, I'm always going to be nervous every time Paul Skenes does something extra that he doesn't have to for when it comes to the Pirates. We kind of need him here, Gary.
I think you're right. So let's talk about somebody else that we need, right? Because there's all this buzz that has done nothing but grow ever since we talked about it.
Jeez.
For Konnor Griffin to start on opening day, and there's been an awful lot of even talk recently about these two sides both being willing to talk about an extension. But I got to be honest, the Pirates have said that a couple times now, and I have a feeling really that Griffin kind of just answered off the cuff, like, sure, like, so I don't know how much of like they're both like chomping at the bit to do this situation it is, as much as I think it's more of a situation of like, yeah, I think they're both willing. You asked a cool question. Basically, okay, let's say he starts. What does he give you? And you wanted to see what the fans actually like thought. And we're going to read a lot of them because I want to talk about how unrealistic / realistic they are. And I think it's going to be a fun exercise, Jim. We don't have to read them all, but let's just read a few, right? Some of the extremes, especially. We got 290 with 24 homers and 80 RBI. And a scientifically written out 812 OPS.
Well, I asked for very specific. So to be fair, I said average, homer, RBIs, stolen bases, and OPS. So people
65 stolen bases that gentleman had. So there's
I've seen. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, man.
Now I've seen, people up there with the steals. I actually agree with that. I don't know about 65 stolen bases, but the one thing I do think would be projectable for him in his rookie season would be the steals. I could see his speed is speed, and he's got good instincts. As long as he's on base even marginally, I could definitely see him being in the 30 plus stolen base range. I think that's maybe the easiest one for me to kind of call.
All right. Obviously, you'd be happy with those numbers. That would be a pretty darn good rookie campaign. That's a rookie of the year campaign right there. We've got one better from our own James Littleton. How about 305, 24 home runs, 71 RBI, 56 stolen bases, and an 835 OPS with the addition of "Don't Come At Me." But here we are coming at him. So James is more optimistic than the other James that I read from.
Yeah, the Jims are all in on Konnor Griffin. Those are some pretty big numbers there.
You're talking MVP votes if you're up doing that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Here's one I could see. Nathan Hirsch says 272 average, 12 homers, 61 RBIs, 33 steals, and a 742 OPS. I could sign off on that one. I think that's if I was projecting myself in these numbers, I like that, Gary. What about who else? Who on here do you see and go, okay, that's kind of where I'm at?
I'm probably a little north of what Nathan just said there. That's not bad though. I think he'll probably hit more than 12 home runs personally if he was to have a full season. But everything else, I'm right there. I would never project hardly anybody that hasn't already done it in Major League Baseball, an OPS north of 8. I mean, like, yeah. I would hope for it. I think he's capable of it. but I would never project somebody for north of an 8 OPS when they haven't ever done it. Just I can't. Like, and I think like Rich Thompson here, maybe a little bit low, 245, 17 home runs, 75 RBI, 26 stolen bases, 707 OPS. I agree with his home run total a little bit more than Nathan's. You know, I think that's a little more in line with where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
I think his average will be more than that, though. He's just too fast to not get some cheapos, you know. And I think that helps his OPS too, because he really does turn singles into doubles a lot more than you've seen. He just doesn't need to often, you know.
Right. I think too, it's like when you look at maybe what he can do, so much of this maybe is predicated too on where is he batting if he's playing, right? Like if he's starting out the gate, where are they going to bat him? Because obviously that's going to have a say in some of these numbers. But
if it was Derek Shelton still, I would tell you 8th or 9th, because that's where everybody debuts in the Derek Shelton system. I don't know that I've seen Don Kelly practice that as religiously. Is that in your head? I don't think so.
No, and I don't think you do that with a guy like this. I mean,
I would think he'd lead off, frankly.
Yeah, lead off or 6th or 7th, somewhere in there. Like,
I think I would just if he's making the opening day roster, man, I'm just having him lead off. Just start. Just do what we think you can do, man. You've shocked us every step of the way.
mm-hmm.
I'm done with the training wheels at this point. Take the stick out there and do what Daddy showed you. Like, just let me step back and watch it happen. I think if he makes the opening day roster, I'm not playing any kind of rookie kid games with them. Like, I'm not having a plan of he's only going to play 5 days a week, or I'm not doing anything like that. Personally, they might. I'm just asking you if you saw any trends with the way that he's onboarded any other kids, but I don't think so.
I think like every case is different. And when you've got someone this special, I do think if you're going to call him up, you don't put him at 8th or 9th. I mean, like, you don't have to training wheel him that bad, do you?
I don't think so, no. How about Greg here said whatever Babe Ruth was and then double it?
That's fair. That's a very fair. I like the confidence there.
I mean, that was before OPS was even a thing. So who knows? I'm sure they've math now, though, Jim.
Well, yeah. Let's go way back. Let's wind the clocks back, if you will.
All right.
That's my Joker, sad Joker impersonation. Let's go back to 1989 and another decent player. Let's go back to Ken Griffey, and let's look at Ken Griffey's rookie season.
Okay. Hey, you know what? Didn't Harold Reynolds who's the guy on MLB Network?
Harold
Reynolds. Right. Mm-hmm. He just compared him to Junior.
Okay.
He said, I know what I see. When I see generational, I know. I've been around a long time and I saw it.
Yeah. I mean, so, he had a front row seat to it.
Well, he's claiming he's seeing it again. So
so let's look at Ken Griffey's first year, and it would be the same situation if we're talking Konnor Griffin on the opening day roster, because that would be Griffey was the last to do that. Last guy at 19 to be on the opening day roster starting. Griffey played 127 games that year and had 455 at-bats. He did miss a little bit of time in there with like a broken bone in his hand. So just for context sake. But in those 500-ish, 500 plate appearances, he ended up with 16 homers, 61 RBI, 16 steals, a .264 batting average, and an OPS of 748. And, you know, I like that. I like those numbers because, as we know, then Griffey just the next year took off into the stratosphere.
And hitting in the Kingdom too.
Right. Right. So yeah. So I just, you know, some of those numbers really sit right with me. I think the steals Griffin's got much more than 16 in them. But the 16 homers, 661 RBIs, the 264-ish batting average, an OPS in the 740s, I would take that all day long, and I would be super happy with it.
Yeah, I would too, Jim. I mean, I think for his you got to say for his age, I don't know how else to put it.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible the eye that he's got. It's amazing how rarely he chases, and just the kind of authority he can put behind his swing decisions at this age is just, you see a lot of people swing hard at his age.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see a lot of people swing hard with purpose. He's got that.
He does. And when he does swing hard, it's a little bit of an effortless swing hard too. That it doesn't look like he's ever overdoing it.
Nope.
But it's still really hard. And I think what you're seeing now is like, I think this is a big distinction for people when you watch prospects. We talk all the time about tools, right?
Yeah.
4-tool guy, 5-tool guy, he's toolsy. Okay, all that can be true about any person you're talking about. But are you using the tools right away? Like to a major league level? That's the difference, right? You can have tools and they're just not ready to go yet at the major league level. And then there are tools that you're actually using right away, all of them, and can be effective right away. And that is something that I think you want to make the differentiation between, and the distinction is that Konnor Griffin is using all the tools already. He doesn't just have them. They're activated and being used to compete at this level.
It's a difference between a natural athlete and a trained athlete. He's very much so trained to be what he is. And we are seeing baseball trend younger in the lineups.
Oh, very much so.
And we're seeing guys more ready for the majors by the time they get drafted, whether it's out of college or high school at this point. We're seeing a lot of high school kids come up faster. I'm not saying what he's done hasn't been special, but he is part of a wave that is beginning to build of guys getting drafted and then immediately or within a year or two, potentially if you were drafted in the first couple rounds, you're in the mix for helping your team. Bubba Chandler is a great example of somebody that if he was drafted even 10 years ago, you're probably talking about him scraping AA this year.
Right. I think I read something where Max Scherzer was still doing that at 24-ish, 25.
Right.
So
the game has changed to a degree where, like, I'm not saying like it wouldn't be shocking still for a 19-year-old to make the opening day roster, and it doesn't happen very often. And I still don't think it's going to become a regular occurrence. But maybe we need to be a little more open-minded to, like, the draft in Major League Baseball. It still isn't immediate, like, euphoria of something has changed your team forever like the NFL could be, or even the NBA could be, or hockey we've seen. But it's getting closer. It's getting closer to having real immediate impact. Paul Skenes was here in, what, a year? You know,
yeah.
Bubba 2 or 3. I mean, it's moving. Jared Jones was real quick.
And this isn't just something that, like, you it feels like the numbers bear it out. Like,
it makes you think Seth Hernandez is a possibility in a couple years.
I was literally just thinking that.
But that's when we start talking about the pipeline, and you used to go like, Pshaw, they're down in single A. I'm not even going to worry about that yet. Well, watch what they do with Edward Florentino this year. Because I bet he flies. I
Yeah.
mean, like, they're not holding him back anymore. And I don't mean just the Pirates. I mean baseball.
Yeah, I think too, it's like when you got guys that just they grade out so highly, teams just simply aren't afraid anymore. Once they have those types of grades on guys, they're not as there's enough of a track record with dudes like that you can feel more comfortable getting that happening. If you look at, I mean, just in the last 10 years, Gary, if you look at guys that have graded out 70 or above by scouts, here's the list. It's Konnor Griffin. Before that was Jackson Holliday. Before that was Julio Rodriguez. Then Bobby Witt. Then Adley Rutschman. Then Wander Franco. Eloy Jimenez is in there.
I'm kind of surprised Junior Caminero wasn't.
Yeah, I guess it's because they're grading out all the tools, right? Like, so you're looking at everything collectively on that. And Tatis, Guerrero, Acuna, that takes you back to 2018. If those guys have those types of grades, you've now got enough of a track record to say, okay, I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, he's going to show you as spring continues whether he can do it or not. You wanted to lay some kind of a percentage down right now. And I told you I would, as long as I left myself a trap door to talk about it evolving as the spring goes on.
It's February, so yeah, I mean, nothing can be set in stone right now.
Well, I mean, but I would say for right now, I want to do better than the 50-50 crap, because I think right now I'm probably about 75% that he starts opening day.
This is your prediction on what the team will do.
Yes.
Okay.
And what I think they'll earn. I think he'll
okay.
make it impossible for them not to.
Well, I love so far that he's absolutely bullying them into saying yes, because even when he's getting out, he's still hitting the ball hard. I'll go 70%. I think that he has a chance to, in the next couple of weeks, wrap that up. And I'll say 70% right now. But
so
the next couple of weeks are big, Gary. They really are.
Yeah, and I guess, like, let's hope that they don't act like he just had his foot half amputated, from getting hit with that pitch. I mean, I think they pulled him out for precautionary reasons, and nobody said anything, so I'm guessing it's fine. But let's hope that we don't see them hold him out for a couple of days, and
well,
just play the kid.
It sounds silly, but all it would take is for him to have a little bit of a.
Oh, and there's the ready-made excuse. It's done.
Yeah, if he missed a week or 10 days of spring, then all bets would be off.
And honestly, I wouldn't even fault them for it. Because I mean, any kind of disruption to the spring where he can't showcase himself, and then I think that you go with the original script. I would think the one that you were trying to have him disprove.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, Jim, I think I'm kind of surprised we've both moved on this subject already from before spring started, I think. But,
yeah, I think we were both open to it. I obviously, as he starts,
Let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
Them not getting an outside third baseman, has that affected your percentage? I know that you said that it's all about the player and what the player shows you, but you're also a fan. They didn't get anybody else. So to me, logically, this is why I'm at 75%. I can't go into a season with Jared Triolo starting at third base, Nick Gonzalez starting at shortstop, and then Jared Triolo being the only true backup for shortstop. Because if I keep Nick York on the team to be like the utility, or Vargas or whatever, whatever his name is, and Manuel Valdez. Sorry,
Valdez.
If you keep him as a utility to cover third base while Jared has to roll over to short, it's going to be a lot of parlor tricks to avoid some common sense, I would think. And I think them not getting anybody makes it that much more plausible that the Pirates have boxed themselves into a corner here.
Yeah, I think maybe for the first month or so you could get away with it. But over long term, I just can't see it being long term, even if he was down. Looking into this with young, I really do. First of all, it's just fascinating to go back through the game, the history of the game, and see how these guys were graded out, how they performed, what the hiccups were. Interestingly enough, when Mike Trout got called up, he got called up and then got sent back down 12 games later, did not play real well, got sent down, then came right back up, and then never, ever sniffed the minors again. So there are some instances where it doesn't always work out perfectly, even for a guy like Trout. So
and he's got the right head on his shoulders to recover from it anyway. I know when we were talking about this earlier, I was worried about that, that aspect of the stutter start.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not anymore. Like, just listening to it, the kid's already talking like a 5-year vet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's ready for what's coming.
Right. But the point is, even if he did something like that, you shouldn't overreact to it. Not you, but the maniacs that are sports fans, because it won't mean a damn thing.
Right.
If it did happen. Also, one other thing too, I wanted to bring up, and then if we want to wrap it up and go to our third segment, but I'm going to give you a bit of history trivia question here, Gary, because this kind of blew my mind. Looking at the Ken Griffey Jr. rookie season, Ken Griffey Jr. did not win AL Rookie of the Year that year in 1989. 2 pitchers placed first and second on this list, and it's a tough one because you'd have to know that they were rookies in 1989, but the one really caught my eye for obvious reasons.
Can I at least get a team?
I'll do you that for the second one on the list, the Royals.
Oh man. Is it that guy that pitched one season for the Pirates and we traded him? I can't remember his name right now off the top of my head.
It's not that guy.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Sorry.
Tom Gordon. Flash Gordon, the short fireballer guy for the Royals.
Yeah.
And he was second. And I'll let you off the hook for number 1.
Please.
Friend of the show, former guest Greg Olson.
No way. As a reliever,
he had 26 first place votes, ran away with it. And he was the first relief pitcher to win the AL Rookie of the Year award. And I'll bet you when we had him on the show, Gary, we didn't even talk about that. And somehow we missed it.
I'm positive we did, because I'm just learning about it for the first time right this second.
Yes, he 27 saves and a 1.69 ERA. You go, Greg Olson.
This is awesome. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back. Let's talk about a few camp observations, like things we've seen.
Some odds and ends.
At DK Pittsburgh Sports, we take pride in coverage that connects our city's fans to their favorite teams. Now, that connection's stronger than ever. Introducing our all-new state-of-the-art app. Find expert inside reporting and original podcasts. Check live box scores. Track the latest stats. Chat it up with our community of thousands of fans, all in one place. The new app from DK Pittsburgh Sports. coverage that connects.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pirates Fan Forum here on DK Pittsburgh Sports Podcast Network. All right, Jim.
I love going down rabbit holes, Gary. I love it. Those things are so fun.
I think it's awesome too. That was a fun first couple segments, man. A lot of good meat there. But let's talk about some things we've seen early on in spring, things we've noticed. And we didn't prepare this at all, so we may overlap, we may not. And I'll start, and you go second. How's that?
Cool deal.
I have noticed a much, much more mature-looking O'Neal Cruz at the plate. Much better approach, shortening his swing with 2 strikes, seeking opposite field if the pitch is out or third, pulling it if it's in or third, disciplined.
Patient.
Very much improved. Against lefties and righties, I am happy. Now, the defense has some improvement to work through still, I think, but I do like how they're trending there. He lost that in the sun the other day.
It was a weird play. I don't know that I've ever seen it be that much losing it in the sun, but it's just a play in spring training.
I had a 2-week vacation in Bradenton one year and went to see, I think, 6 or 7 Marauders games. Mm-hmm. I've seen it. Just gonna say I've seen it. But I love Jake Mangum's answer today to playing the outfield. Like Hannah asked him, like, how do you handle playing the outfield here in Bradenton? And he goes, I've played a lot of games in Florida, so I'm good. You just get used to it.
It's a challenge. Back to Cruz. Looks more filled out. I think that's noticeable. I don't know, people talking about 15, 20 pounds of muscle. I'd relax on that, but he definitely looks like he has a little bit more bulk to him.
I don't need to guess because I'm not Joe Rogan and I'm not going to prescribe his AG1 shots or anything. I don't care what he's doing.
Gary, me and you would be on eugenics right now. We're way past that stuff.
He's hitting the ball. Yeah.
Yes.
Who do you got? What have you noticed?
Clearly I will just start out with Nick York, right?
Nick York's looked good, yeah.
Yeah, and hitting the ball.
There is an open utility spot on this team, one way or another.
Yeah, well, that's why I bring it up too, right? Because again, spring training, we all know that. But all you can do is go up there and hit the ball hard, and let the rest play out, right? And so far he's done that. I don't know if I don't know what it would take for him to actually make the team out of spring, but there's certainly an opportunity there, and he's looked pretty good, as have most of the hitters. We look a little ahead on the hitting side right now.
They do. I like Henry Davis's stance better. Like his approach better. He's made some good contact. It's not all extreme pull. He's gone the other way a couple times. I've seen some signs of encouragement. I still see some problems up high. And to me, I fear if he hasn't conquered that high fastball, I'm probably carrying a little too much optimism for what I'm going to see offensively out of him.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I just stole number 2. Or no, you did Nick York. Never mind.
No, yeah, you're good. You're good. It's only right if we talk some pros, we talk some cons. And clearly Henry's trying. That's never the case, never the issue with him. He's now, thank goodness, trying some different things at the plate. I gotta say, it's 3 years of when he does get a chance to hit at this level, he's struggling. And I imagine you could be the most confident guy in the world in baseball, but that's a long time to be scrambling.
Yeah, and I'm kind of overreacting to 2 at-bats in particular that I saw, and I do like a lot of what I see. I just feel like that area was something I specifically wanted to see, that he had at least gotten to the point where he's going to foul it off.
Mhm.
That's what he's got to be able to do. And maybe that'll come. I don't want him to give up on this change.
No.
And that's why I'm wanting him to see some success, because I want him to feel that it's working for him, so he sticks with it. Because you make a change like this, I don't think you get overnight awesome. You know?
Nor can you panic if it doesn't
Right.
work out. Like he's done this. You have to buy into it. You have to believe it. And this is the first time he's actually getting to use it even in semi-game situation. Like you can hit in the cage all day long and feel pretty good about what you're doing. Oh, these changes, I think I'm making some progress. You won't know until you actually get out there and start facing guys in game situations.
Well, here's one from the gallery. Nick Gonzalez is looking good. He has. The first couple games, I thought he kind of looked a little out of sorts the first couple games defensively. I just didn't like some of the body language at second, just things that I thought he had kind of conquered last year. Didn't expect him to kind of come back with. And then again, a lot of that is just swapping partners for double plays and, you know, not really being familiar with the new positionings and things like that. Try not to take too much of any of that as a big deal. At the plate, yeah, he looks pretty good. I wish that I felt like he added power. I don't think he has. I think Nick Gonzalez is an okay player, but you're going to have to just admit he's a doubles guy that's going to maybe pop 10, you know, and that's okay if that's a bench role for you, probably.
Yeah, and, you know, if he can get the on-base percentage up, that's still a usable piece, right? It'll be interesting to see how the bench situation works out because of what we talked about earlier with Griffin. And then
if something were to happen to Lau, you'll be praising Jesus that you have Nick Gonzalez or whoever you pray to. But Nick Gonzalez is not a bad player. That's not what I'm trying to say. But they've filled this roster to a point where Nick Gonzalez is probably a bench role player. And if he had a better arm, I could argue that the bat's better than Triolo. And then you could have him play third. I don't think he can handle third. I just don't think he's got the arm. I think Nick York can. I'd like to see it a little bit more because I think if he's going to make the utility role, it's key that he can play third base because he can't play short.
Right. Yeah. You know, I think instead of focusing on a particular player, what I will tell you is what I've noticed in these early games, and they've only got 6 of them, so got a ways to go, is just how many more good at bats you see just because the quality is better. I know that sounds obvious, but you know, when you've got O'Hearn and you've got Ozuna and Horwitz is healthy out of the gate, and you have Lau, like the at bats just look so much better across the board.
It's the sense of urgency to drive in a run too that you see from them. Like I know a lot of people kind of don't believe that RBIs are like a stat that should really kind of impact your thoughts about a player necessarily, but because it can kind of depend on where you hit in the lineup. But there is something to a guy that just knows how to get them and knows what to do in a situation to make sure that run scores no matter what. I may not get a hit here, but I'm going to get the ball in that general direction, and that guy's going to score one way or another. And to see Marcell Ozuna do things like that, bro, like that's exactly what this team has needed. RBI hounds, Mangum too.
Yeah, you listen, and then when you have enough of them where you don't feel you have to do it all yourself.
Yeah.
Right. And I think I'll bet you that has played a part sometimes with Brian Reynolds. I'll bet you that plays a part sometimes with O'Neal Cruz the last couple of years, is like, if you don't think guys can press in those situations. I will tell you, you're 1000% wrong there. And I just read something the other day, and you know who it was from? It was from Shohei Ohtani, and he talked about playing with the Angels. And he talked about when it came time and there was a big situation in the game and he was up with guys on base, he felt he needed to do more there. He got himself in trouble trying to do more in those situations because he felt he was the only one that could. And so, listen, you can, if that's the space you want to stay in headwise, that, you know, it doesn't matter, it plays out over time the same way RBIs or total happenstance. All I will tell you is the best player on the planet just talked about how, yes, you can get in certain situations where you can do too much, you can press. And I would say that in the Pirates in the past, these last few years, I 100% believe you've seen some of that.
No, I think you're totally right. So let's talk about some pitchers. Wilbert Dotel, very impressive.
For sure.
Very impressive young man. Almost assuredly starting in AAA. But climbing the ranks quick. I mean, he looks good, Jim.
They've
like,
got a lot of arms, man. They really do.
They really do. And like, you know, a lot of untested arms. But man, they've got a lot of guys who can throw the ball hard and can reasonably control it. Dotel put in a solid AA season last year. He will be a good pitcher this year too. He could make it. And it's a crowded field, man. You got Barco, who's like probably not going to make the opening day roster, right? And Kelly is, you know, I think gonna be good, but probably a little early to have had to protect him.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So he's behind Dotel, I would say. You got Bidois, who still looks good. I mean, he's got to force his way up this year. The Pirates, I heard somebody say a lot of these guys are only signed for 1 year. They could really be one and done. We shouldn't get that excited about what they've done here. We put 2027 in what we think is going to happen out of our head. The next wave is here. Think about how hard it's going to be to cut somebody like Esmeralda Valdez. He's hitting in spring.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Garcia looks great. He's not guaranteed a spot on this team. Like, there's a very real possibility he doesn't make it.
Well, and I think this is all we've wanted is for to go into spring training and feel like guys have to really fight to nail down their spots. And I think that is something that can further advance where you're trying to get, which is from spring training, you're in 100% compete mode. And I think it just sharpens everything.
There's another guy I wanted to bring up, Jim, because I think we were both, reasonably down on him because it had been so long really since he had played, right? Andy Rodriguez.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He has looked tremendous. Now, he had one real stinker of a throw that made me like kind of perk my eye because it was the same kind of stinker of a throw he had before he, was in trouble and ended up having the elbow issues the first time and the second time. So I guess somebody asked me, could he beat Bart for a spot on this team? And I was thinking to myself, well, they've already considered trading Bart. I can't imagine why he wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
But Andy's hitting from the right and left side in spring. I think you both and I both felt like some AAA time was going to be a no-brainer. But, man, you got to have some offense at the catching position, don't you? And like, Bart hasn't done anything this spring either. A base hit here and there. But you need to see the boom back in Bart's bat if he's worth messing with.
Yeah. It's interesting, the catching situation. I still think Andy would be better served. It's been so long to go down. Could Bart be moved from now till the start of the season? All it would take would be for an injury somewhere for that to maybe happen. You know what I mean? Like you could see Bart still getting moved. But it's a logjam right now. But Endy has looked really good, and I will say he's even looked really good, I thought, behind the plate so far.
Yeah, I thought so too. And so I think the catching position maybe should have a little more flexibility than we gave it credit for at the beginning. I'm not saying that Henry's not going to make it. He is. There's just no doubt. He's one of the spots for a lot of reasons. Endy, I think, has every chance to beat Bart, though. And I think Flores has a chance to make this team, too. For the same reason Endy did a couple years ago, his ability to play first and catcher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You know?
yeah. The versatility is really important. But just it's like you said too, this lineup is still not to the point where you can have black holes in the lineup. A lot of it, and if Davis and Bart don't hit, you would essentially be having that. You'd like to be getting some production out of that offensively.
And I'll just add, there aren't an awful lot of baseball teams that like to carry 4 catchers on their 40-man. There just aren't. And if that doesn't scream change coming to you, then you haven't been around a lot of baseball organizations. They will not carry 4 catchers into the season. Rarely do you see that. That would tell me that Bart is probably as good as gone. I think they'll shop him. I don't think they'll DFA him, but I think they'll try to move him.
Yeah, and I think somebody would be willing to take that.
I think so too. You know, if you're just looking at a backup guy or whatever, I think that could happen for sure.
Well, and you put him in the right ballpark, that with he might get even a little bit of boost offensively there when he had to play. So I think if there was a guy that I thought maybe you might see on the move from now till the season starts, it would be Bart. Flores has looked good. He's even looked good at first base, I thought.
Yeah, and they're playing him there a lot too. So I mean, I do think that it has to be open, and you can't just prevent the entire second wave from coming. If they're gonna win, they're gonna win. Like, I've been watching Garcia this spring. He's impressive. The arm's great. He gets to everything in the outfield. He's a great fielder. I got no issue. Maybe he's a little casual on a few things out there, you know, doing the side catches or basket catches or whatever. Don't do that, maybe.
He can be our Manny Ramirez, our mini Manny Ramirez.
But I like the bat.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems pretty mature. You know, he doesn't look like he's swinging for home runs all the time. A lot of the strikeout issues, he doesn't seem to be showing those. He looks more patient.
I think when you watch him and the little bit we've seen of him, it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the spring plays out. But when I watch him, I think major league player. Me
too. And I like Jake Mangum. I thought he's had a really good spring. Thought he showed more pop than people thought. He almost put one out oppo today.
Jake Mangum's one of those guys easy to root for.
But he knocks the baseball all around, never strikes out, walks, can steal bases like nobody but O'Neal Cruz, really. Even when this team is built, there's going to be actual guys that you kind of want to play on the bench. When's the last time we have said that, Jim? And I really mean that. Even if you go back to those teams in the mid-2010s, think about what was on our bench. You know, you didn't very often want to be dipping into that. You know, I think they do have more depth than we thought offensively.
Well, and a lot of times a bench can be a difference maker from being a wild card team or not. Things like that. Those are the little things you need to be able to win. And are they there? I don't know, but we've seen some promising signs so far this spring that they've at least got guys capable and pushing for spots.
Well, Jim, it's been about an hour, and
It flies by,
good
dude.
show.
It always
show.
goes so fast.
I loved all the topics today, and I apologize to everybody again for last week. The power literally went out like a half an hour before we were supposed to record, and I was like, and then I wasn't going to do anything really. I was going to just come on here and, hope that it popped back up. But then I went to the website for the electric company, and they were like, it's not going to come on till like 8. I was like, oh.
So,
better contact everyone.
So you basically lit some candles and churned butter the rest of the night.
Yeah, pretty much. It's not much different than normal life for a cat owner. You just sit around with a candle lit doing nothing. But yeah, pretty good. Hey, great start to spring though, man, for real. I think it's been good so far. This is fun. Good stuff, Jim. I always love talking to you. We'll do it again next week, huh?
Yeah, let's see what the week brings, and
hopefully at 5:00 too. Because I like this 5:00 thing whenever we can do it. That's nice.
I do too. And what's nice is they've gotten off to a good start, and you can see right away some of the things that they've done are making an impact, even though it's just spring training games. So
right, and it was fun watching Derek Shelton be sad today, even though they intentionally didn't show him once in the dugout.
Oh, he's dead to Greg Brown now that he's on another team. No more Shelty.
They barely mentioned him. They
really?
barely mentioned him. Yeah, I saw one quote from Derek Shelton. I forget who asked him, but basically about what do you think when you look across at the other dugout? This will be our ending point because it's fun. He just goes, yeah, at some point you kind of wish there would have been that kind of an investment. But hey, good for Ben. I'm glad he was able to go out and get some guys. So that was a dig for sure that he knows it was not on Ben before that they didn't get guys, right?
Yeah, that caught my attention too. It'd be funny to get inside Derek Shelton's head and see what he's thinking as he sees across the diamond. But hey, don't feel too bad for Derek Shelton. He's still a major league manager.
Right. And he's still probably not a good major league manager, which that will be borne out in his time in Minnesota, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And there will be whiskey stained tears on a Minnesota Twins pillow instead of a Pirates pillow.
T-shirt companies are going to be happy these there.
Yes. All right, everybody. Let's go Bucks.
See you guys.